In 2019, Marcus finally got the call he'd been waiting 3 years for. Senior account manager. $87,000 a year. He remembered the exact number because he'd written it on a sticky note and put it on his bathroom mirror in 2016. That was his number. The number where everything would feel different. He took his girlfriend out to dinner that night, ordered the steak, didn't check the price, and for about 6 weeks, life felt exactly the way he'd imagined it would. Then something quiet happened. 90 days after the raise, Marcus checked his savings account. He had $2,200 in it, the same amount he'd had the month before the promotion. He made $1,900 more that quarter than he did the quarter before it, and his savings hadn't moved. He sat with that for a minute, genuinely confused. Then he opened his bank statement and started scrolling. Nicer gym, bigger apartment, car payment that felt totally reasonable for someone making $87,000. Dinners that used to be special occasions quietly becoming Thursdays. He didn't remember making any of those decisions. They just happened, like gravity. If you've ever gotten a raise and felt richer for about 8 weeks before sliding back to the exact same feeling of financial tightness, this video is going to explain exactly what happened to you. And more importantly, it's going to show you the one move that beats the trap before your next raise disappears the same way. My name is Nick, and I've spent a deeply unreasonable amount of time studying why smart, hardworking people earn more and more over their careers and somehow end up with less and less financial security. If you've ever suspected that the problem isn't how much you make, hit subscribe, because today, we're going to prove it. And by the end of this video, you will never think about a raise the same way again. I'll warn you now, the practical section at the end contains something that most financial advisors quietly get backwards. We'll get there. But first, let's name the trap. Here's the thing that nobody puts in the offer letter when you get promoted. Income and wealth are not the same thing. They are not even close to the same thing. They rhyme, they hang out in the same sentences. But they are completely different animals. Income is the water flowing into your bucket every month. Wealth is how much water is actually in the bucket after everything flows back out. And here is the brutal truth that the salary conversation almost never includes. The bucket has a leak, and the leak doesn't stay the same size. It automatically expands to match whatever you pour in. This is the salary trap. And it doesn't care how smart you are. It doesn't care how disciplined you are. It doesn't care that you have a sticky note on your bathroom mirror. It is a documented psychological phenomenon that has eaten the raises of lawyers, doctors, engineers, and executives for as long as raises have existed. And the reason almost nobody escapes it by accident is because the mechanism is invisible until you know exactly what to look for. So let's look at it. Economists and psychologists have a name for what happened to Marcus. 2 names, actually. Lifestyle inflation and hedonic adaptation. They're related but slightly different, and understanding both of them is the difference between feeling informed and actually being defended against them. Lifestyle inflation is the spending side. Every time your income goes up, your spending goes up right behind it, usually within 90 days, sometimes faster. The raise arrives, and without any conscious decision. The baseline of what feels normal starts shifting upward. The apartment that felt fine last year suddenly feels a little small now that you can technically afford more. The car that ran perfectly well starts feeling like it doesn't quite match where you are professionally. The restaurants that used to be celebrations quietly become the regular rotation. None of these feel like splurges in the moment. Each one individually feels completely reasonable for someone at your income level. That's the trap inside the trap. It's not reckless, it's incremental. It's reasonable decisions stacked on top of reasonable decisions until the entire raise has been allocated to a life that costs exactly what you now earn. Hedonic adaptation is the satisfaction side. And this one is darker. It's the reason the raise felt incredible for 6 weeks and then just felt like Tuesday. Psychologists have documented this thoroughly. Humans are extraordinarily good at adapting to improvements in their circumstances. The nicer apartment becomes just your apartment within about 3 months. The car that made you feel something when you first drove it becomes transportation. The restaurant that felt like a treat becomes the place you go when you don't feel like cooking. The thrill evaporates. but the monthly payment stays. So you upgrade again, chasing a feeling that your own brain is designed to cancel out. This is the hedonic treadmill, and the faster you run on it, the faster it spins. Together, these two mechanisms do something that sounds impossible on paper but plays out in bank accounts across every income level every single day. They make earning more feel exactly the same as earning less. Meet three people, different incomes, same trap. Person 1 earns $55,000 a year. Take home is roughly $3,600 a month after taxes. Rent, car, food, utilities, subscriptions, social life, it all adds up to about $3,400. They save about $200 a month. It's tight. They know it's tight. They tell themselves everything will change when they get the promotion. Person 2 is that same person, 4 years later. Now earning $85,000. Take home around $5,200 a month. Nicer apartment up $600. Financed a newer car up $280. Food and dining upgraded gradually up $400. Gym, streaming, subscriptions that felt silly at $55K but feel reasonable now up $200. They save about $220 a month. They made $30,000 more per year and their monthly savings went up by $20. Person 3 is a version of that same person a decade later, earning $140,000. Take home around $7,900 a month. Their mortgage is $2,400. 2 car payments total $900. They eat well, travel occasionally, give their kids experiences they didn't have growing up. By every visible measure, they are successful. Their monthly savings is around $400. They have a 401k they contribute to at the minimum to get the employer match. Net worth outside of home equity is around $60,000 at age 41. They are earning more than 85% of Americans, and they are one bad quarter away from financial stress. Same trap. 3 income levels. The water kept flowing faster into the bucket. The leak kept growing to match it. The bucket never actually got fuller. Now here is where this gets counterintuitive. And I need you to stay with me, because this is the part that sounds wrong the first time you hear it and then becomes impossible to unsee. The salary trap is not a spending problem. It is an identity problem. Every financial upgrade Marcus made after his promotion was rational on its own terms. He could afford the nicer apartment. He could afford the car payment. He could afford the better restaurants. The math checked out each time. The problem wasn't that any single decision was wrong. The problem was the unconscious belief underneath all of them. The belief that a higher income means a higher lifestyle is the next logical step, that the raise is permission, that spending up to your income level is just what people at your income level do. Researchers who study this call it lifestyle congruence, the idea that your spending should match your social and professional identity. And the pressure to maintain that congruence is not just internal. It's external, constant, and almost completely invisible. Your colleagues at the $87,000 job have $87,000 tastes. The neighborhoods where $87,000 earners rent pull you toward $87,000 spending patterns. The cars in the parking lot of your office are quietly setting a baseline. Nobody is telling you to upgrade anything. The environment is doing it for them. A study out of Harvard tracked professionals over a 10-year period as their incomes rose. The finding that should haunt every high earner in the room was this: spending tracked income increases with a correlation of about 0.97, meaning for every dollar of new income, roughly 97 cents found its way into new spending within 18 months. 3 cents survived. 3 cents on the dollar. That's not a character flaw. That's a system operating exactly as designed. Quick favor before we get to the part that actually beats this. If this video is connecting dots you've been trying to connect for a while, hit the like button. It costs nothing, takes 1 second. And it tells the algorithm that people actually want to understand how money works, instead of just being told to cut their lattes. Okay, back to the trap. Here is the part almost nobody tells you. And it is the reason I said earlier that most financial advisors quietly get this backwards. The standard advice for lifestyle inflation goes something like this: be disciplined. Make a budget. Track your spending. Don't upgrade your lifestyle when your income goes up. White-knuckle your way through the urge to spend more. That advice is not wrong exactly. It's just aimed at the wrong lever. It treats the symptom. It doesn't touch the cause. Discipline degrades. Budgets get abandoned. Willpower is a finite resource. If the defense against the salary trap requires you to out-willpower a documented psychological phenomenon every single month for the rest of your career, you are going to lose eventually. Everybody does. The actual defense is structural, not behavioral. You don't beat the salary trap by wanting to spend less. You beat it by making the right allocation automatic before the lifestyle congruence pressure ever gets a chance to operate. Here's what that looks like in practice. Step 1. Give every raise a job before you spend it. The moment a raise is confirmed, before it hits your account, before you've told anyone, before you've felt it decide where it goes, not vaguely. Specifically, if your take-home goes up by $400 a month, that $400 needs a destination before your brain gets to touch it. Half goes to investments. A quarter goes to accelerating debt payoff. A quarter can go to genuine lifestyle upgrade if you want, but chosen consciously, not by default. This sounds simple. It is almost impossible to do after the fact. Once the money has landed in your checking account and your nervous system has registered the new normal, it has already been mentally allocated. You have to move faster than the hedonic treadmill. And the only way to consistently do that is to make the decision in advance. Step 2. Automate the gap. The gap between what you earn and what you spend is where wealth actually lives. And a gap only survives if it's protected automatically. Set up your transfers before the paycheck clears. Retirement contributions, investment accounts, savings goals, all of it should move without you making a decision in the moment. Every manual transfer is a willpower event. Every automated transfer is a structural lock. Willpower events get skipped. Structural locks don't. Step 3. Let lifestyle grow slowly and deliberately. This is the part that matters for long-term sustainability. The goal isn't to live like you're making $55,000 forever. That's not realistic, and it doesn't need to be. The goal is to let your lifestyle grow at a fraction of the rate your income grows. If your income goes up 15%, let your spending go up 5%. Bank the rest. Do this consistently for a decade and you will have quietly built a financial position that your colleagues at the same income level will never understand. Because from the outside, your life looks basically the same as theirs. Step 4. Redefine what the raise is for. Here's the reframe that changes everything. The raise is not permission to spend more. The raise is the raw material for buying back your time. Every dollar of that new income that goes into an investment account is a dollar that will one day generate income without you having to show up for anything. Marcus's $87,000 salary was either going to buy him a slightly nicer life this year, or it was going to buy him options for the rest of his life. It cannot do both. Not at the rate the leak was growing. Step 5. Track net worth, not income. This is the number that actually tells you whether you're winning. Not the salary, not the title, not the apartment. Your net worth is the only scoreboard that accounts for what stays versus what flows through. Most people check their bank balance. A small number of people track their net worth monthly. That small number is where the wealth is concentrated. It is not a coincidence. Let's go back to Marcus. Not the Marcus from 2019 who went out for the steak dinner and woke up 90 days later confused about his savings account. A different version. The one who heard about the trap before the promotion. Same call. Same $87,000. Same dinner out to celebrate. But before the new paycheck hit, he made one decision. He calculated that his take-home was going up by $1,100 a month. He set up an automatic transfer of $700 of it directly into his investment account before he ever built it into his budget. He let the other $400 drift naturally into his lifestyle. A slightly better grocery routine. One more dinner out per month. Normal things. 5 years later, Marcus is earning $104,000. His lifestyle costs about what it cost when he was making $87,000 plus a few $100s. His investment account has grown to just over $90,000. His net worth is climbing on two engines: his contributions and compounding returns. He didn't feel deprived. He didn't white-knuckle a budget. He just moved faster than the treadmill. Once, at the beginning. And then let the structure do the work. The other Marcus, the one who got the steak and went with the flow, he's earning $104,000 now too. Same company, same promotions, different bucket, same leak. He's not struggling exactly. But he's not building anything either. Same salary, same years. One of them has options. The other one needs the next raise to feel better. And then the one after that. Here is the thing about the salary trap that I keep coming back to. Nobody falls into it because they're bad with money. They fall into it because the entire environment they're operating in is calibrated to make sure they do. The marketing, the social comparison, the neighborhood, the parking lot, the colleagues. The culture, every signal around a rising earner says spend to match. The signals pointing in the other direction are quiet. They live in spreadsheets. They live in account balances. They live in a number that most people check once a year at tax time, if that. Your income is not the story. It never was. The story is the gap, the distance between what flows in and what flows out. Widen it when the income goes up. Protect it automatically. Let it compound quietly in the background while the rest of the world upgrades their lease and argues about the restaurant. Marcus got the sticky note right. The number wasn't wrong. He just didn't know what the number was for. It wasn't for the steak dinner. It was for the transfer that happened the morning after. That's the whole game. That's the part nobody puts in the offer letter. If this reframed how you think about your next raise, do me a favor and drop a comment telling me what you're going to do differently the next time one lands. I actually read them. And if you want to understand the specific net worth levels where all of this math starts to feel genuinely different in your daily life, I made a full video on exactly that and it's right there on the screen. Go watch that one next. I'll see you in it.